So I wanted to show you this Behemoth Verdant team. It's probably the best team in PvP and it's very good for stage 3 runs. It does consist of 2 tier 4 carries, which you can see there, the Jotun and the Seer. So a little bit harder to get than some of the other builds I've shown, but a worthwhile one focusing on because it is so good in PvP and again, really good in stage 3. I'll explain the team as we go and then I'll also do a PvP arena game. So the 2 Behemoth units are Jotun and Seer. Our Ranger will also be Behemoth. What Behemoth does is every 4th attack, they're going to deal physical damage equal to 25% of their max HP once we have 3 of them, and it's going to stun for 2 seconds. So you'll see large chunks of damage every 4th attack, and this is going to be particularly good with the gumbo drops that gives them 60 attack speed. Jotun, when he megas, he's going to do a bite, which does pure damage and steals 25% attack damage and attack speed for 6 seconds. Again, the attack speed is going to scale well with the Behemoth. He also heals for 20% of the target's missing health. So he's already quite tanky just like with his base stats and health. But he's also healing, doing pure damage, stunning every 4th attack and doing large chunks of damage. So really good Illuvial. Probably best individual Illuvial at the moment. Now, Seer, when he megas, he's going to do a spin for 4 seconds, and that just does a bunch of damage to everyone being hit. He also takes less damage while he's spinning. Not as good with Behemoth just because he's not auto-attacking while he's spinning, but still really good and probably a little tankier as well, so you'd use him more as a tank. And if he does get a full spin off, it can be quite good anyway. I'm not going to get Magma or Frost. Those are the composites of Jotun and Seer. We're actually going to get Verdant. I should say you can get either of those. You would just bond your Ranger, whichever one you're choosing, and you just have to change the affinity of the weapon. So for Magma, you would use an Earth Sword instead. Frost just does it and it applies Frost, which does an attack speed slow and it stuns when you get a certain amount of stack. Definitely not bad to have. Magma gone through in our Magma Enchanter video. Want to play a Magma Enchanter build, I'll link that above, but we're going to go with Verdant. So our 2 Verdant units are Twine and Archelion. You can play the Null, I just chose the Twine because it's less mastery points and still has Verdant. If you want Verdant on the Archelion, you need to be stage 3. Our Ranger is going to bond to Twine because we need Bulwark for Behemoth, and Bulwark plus Fighter from our sword is going to give us Behemoth. We've got Nature from the sword and Nature from the Twine, and that's going to equal Verdant. So the Verdant units, when they get below 60% HP, they're going to heal for a percentage of the max health. So in this case, it's going to be 50% of their max health over 4 seconds, so it's going to be a huge heal. A lot of the time they'll almost go back to full HP, and they're going to put a permanent area heal down on the ground, which is going to heal nearby allies or anyone standing in it. And we're going to have 3 of them over the board, so Twine, Archelion and the Ranger are all going to be Verdant. We want to stack our, where we can, we want to have our Behemoths close to the Verdants, and the Verdants taking most of the damage. So we can see there's a few rogues here, so I'm actually just going to try to take them out at the start of the game. And I can put Archelion here. I may as well stack up at the back of the board anyway. The rest of your team, you can just fill with whatever you're trying to level. They're all going to help out anyway. In this case, I'm trying to level the 2 Adors, the Scarabok, which actually gives us the 3 Bulwark, which is nice. So that's just more tanky stats. Nature gives everyone a heal over time. It's a relatively small amount, but for the nature units, they get doubled out, so it's an okay affinity. I had the tier 0 sword, which I should have. It's only 10 costs, and I'd be able to fit this round for you in. But that's okay, we can show the team being a little bit weaker, just the 7 Illuvials, and it'll show us how strong it is. I'm not going to use consumables. Again, I just want to show you how strong it is. I'll show you a couple of stage 3 encounters. If we were going to use consumables, we'll just use the gumbo drops on the 2 Behemoths, and maybe a Flora Ball on the Twine, or whoever else we want to be a tank. You can leave the Seer out of this team and just go 2 Behemoths. In that case, you would definitely need the gumbo drop on the Jotun in most cases, and it'd be a little bit harder to win, but I think that would still work. But let's go with the 3 Behemoth. Look at the damage chart. Seer just got charmed into the back line. So you can see the Verdant effect over the Ranger. And they're carrying that medium effect with medium area of heal with them. You can see everyone's super healthy still. I don't think we lost a single Illuvial there, and there was no consumables. We did get quite a lot of hyper though. You can see their pure damage from the Jotun Omega. Alright, this encounter looks a little bit harder. I've got all range and no rogues, so the Monarch's probably going to jump to the back. But again, our base team is going to be the 2 Behemoths, Archelion and the Twine. We want our Behemoths attacking the same thing if possible. Whatever else you're leveling, in my case it's going to be these Adors and the Scarabok. Can't fit the Ramphy in because my sword costs a little bit too much, and we're bonding that to the Twine. Going to put my Ranger up front just to proc Verdant, so my Ranger will take a bit of that aggro there. The rest of my tanks are going to tank everything else here, and my Behemoth should clear out this side of the field pretty easily. Alright, again, no consumables. Let's see how this goes. It's nice having these ADORs. You'll see when we're in PvP, we're going to have mystics. So you can add mystics into this team if you're not trying to level anything. And the heals coming out from either the Geyser or the Adorius is going to do really well on the Behemoths just because they're already quite tanky naturally. Just having those extra heals, you can see they've healed up to full a few times already. And already staying pretty healthy, but the Jotun may have died without the heals. The better thing there probably would have been to snipe out the Monarch with my Behemoths, but I just wanted to show you how you would play them at the front of the board. Alright, let's get stuck into the PvP game. Generally, we'll start with the Behemoth at the back here, but given we can't see the team who we're playing against, and I'm not going to be that strong round 1, we're just going to skip. I was going to do round 1, I'd place the Majol at the back and just ascend him one stage. Older and ally gains and nearest ally gain physical pierce, not bad. Takedown gain attack speed, we'll do that one. Generally we want to start at the back of the board and have our tanks at the front. This is so our brawlers, or our behemoths in this case, take the longest to pass to the opponent. So we'll see what they have. It may not be, this strategy may not be relevant, but if they have a similar team, like Berserkers or Behemoths or Templars or whatever, we want ours pathing the latest possible, because there's more chance ours will path onto their carries instead of the tanks, whereas their carries will just be hitting our tanks. Put that down. We're going to upgrade the Majol. Going to bond the Ranger to the Cling, like we did in Overworld. And we're going to need to upgrade to the Twine for Verdant. We're not quite going to have Behemoth yet. And I could have put the Doga down, and I didn't put the Augments down, but that's all good. We can afford to lose his first couple of rounds. Okay, so he's playing a Rampy. What's he got in there? Crit. And he's already got the Blotto. So this is either going to be an interesting build or a relatively new player. Either way, we'll be able to showcase the team. I will link this team down below for the team builder. So you can click on that and it will import this whole team to your team builder. So you don't have to build it yourself. And it will just fill out with what NFTs you've already caught in Overworld. And you may just have to go through and delete what you don't own and either replace it or just keep what you own. Like if you don't have all 3 stages, that's fine. Just take whatever stages you have. Round 3, we're going to finally get our Jotun. Going to put the flare down, do our Scarabox, so that'll give us 3 Bulwark, True Sight, and gain 10% attack speed on takedown. Won't use this because it's a legendary augment, and every 5 seconds gain attack damage. It is worthwhile getting good at PvP, or at least trying it. It's fun. As much as it's fun, it's also going to be a way, well, they're going to have arena rewards for PvP. At some point they'll come back, whether that's for this 1v1 mode or the 8-player mode. The concepts are going to be the same. The 8-player mode, you're not going to pre-build teams, so it's going to be more like TFT, where you kind of roll down and purchase your Illuvials as you go, and you build out the team depending on what you get given. But the 1v1 will always be a pre-built team. Mostly the Illuvials that you catch in the overworld. Nearest allies gain attack speed, we want that. And I'm going to put that on the Doka, so we'll put the Doka here. Attack speed for nearest allies. Now I've got 2 options at this stage. We can go towards Mystic, which I think I'm going to do. So we'll put the Ador out, and I'm going to upgrade him all the way to Mystic, just to use the Ascend tokens, and then next turn I can put the Apon down for Mystic. Like we could have upgraded the Flare to Seer. Maybe that was a better option. And we could also put the Archie down around kind of just at the back here for the 3rd Verdant. But I think the Mystic and the Seer are going to be the priority there. Fire, Earth, Bloom. So his Ranger must be Bloom. What else is his Ranger? Bloom and Behemoth. Yeah, okay, so he's definitely a new player, but this is the setup you'll use against most opponents. On attack we gain 2% attack speed. Would have locked it on the Jotun, so we'll just put that on the Seer. I'm going to upgrade him once, but then we're going to upgrade the Apon, and that'll give us Mystic. We got enough that we can go Seer as well. That's huge. Archie right up there. We might end up winning this round, but that's pretty much where the team finishes. We're going to get the third Verdant from Archie, and we can just upgrade the Ranger. The Ranger is going to be... It made a minimalist. Oh, he's moved over here, so my Jotun's stuck. This will be interesting. But the Ranger is actually going to be your main carry towards the late game once it's fully upgraded. He's just going to proc the Behemoth so quickly. And that's going to be game. So yeah, hope that helps. We could see it in the Overworld. Really good team. You can still level 4 to 5 Illuvials. And definitely worth using and practicing with, getting familiar with, just because PvP, it's going to be a relevant build, and the potential that they'll add rewards at any point back to Arena, you're going to give yourself a head start if you start using teams like this.